everyone. Today we'll be previewing San Diego Padres. As you all know, this team here got a bright future. One of the top prospects, minor league systems in Major League Baseball. With AJ Preller as the GM, he's done a very good job in developing the minor league system to use them as trade bait, maybe for later on in order for them to get players. But I really like the direction that they're going to. They got a lot of young players, a lot of prospect, a lot of hype surrounding this team. This team here could be the sleeper in the National League in order to maybe try to clinch a wild card. I mean, this team on paper, it looks pretty good. You know, they might have a question marks in the rotation, but their bullpen is the second best in the major leagues behind the Yankees, and their lineup is consistent from top to bottom. Now with the DH in the National League, I mean, this team is full of potential. I mean, you can't argue about it. This team here is on the rise, and they're going to be on the rise for years to come and maybe take over the National League West and maybe in the future. All right, let's start off with their pitching staff. The number one starter is Chris Paddock, a very good pitcher. He was a rookie last year. He's done very well, and I think he's going to be on the rise going forward and trying to be the ace of this ball club. Their number two starter is Dinelson Lamet. He's he's also a young starter, but hopefully he can build his way up. Their number three starter, and coming back from Tommy John surgery, is Garrett Richards, which they took he's like a low risk, a high reward, and also he could be used for trade bait if he does well. So he's their number three starter. Their number four starter that they acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers is Zach Davis, which I really like. Now he's in a pitcher's ballpark, just like Garrett Richards. Zach Davis should put up some good numbers over there, and I'm hoping he does well. Their number five starter is Joey Lucchesi, which he's another young stud coming up, and hopefully he'll do well. Their number six starter is Cole Quantrill. He's another pitcher that has upside, and hopefully with this future looking very bright. And their top prospect in the minor league system, he could be the future ace, is Gore McKenzie, which shown great stuff, and hopefully he'll show everybody wrong, and hopefully get promoted very soon. For this pitching staff to succeed, they brought in a veteran pitching coach from the New York Yankees in Larry Rothschild. So hopefully he'll teach these guys what it takes to pitch in the major leagues. Now let's go to their bullpen. This bullpen here is strong. I mean, it's very strong. It's the second best in Major League Baseball. Their closer in the ninth is Kirby Yates. Their setup man in the eighth is Emilio Pagan that they acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays. Their setup man in the seventh that they signed, Drew Pomeranz. Now let's go to the middle relief. Craig Statman, Matt Strom, Pierce Johnson, Javi Guerrero, Jose Castillo, Michael Baez. I mean, these are the names. I mean, it's lethal. You know, if they could just bridge the gap to try to get to the seventh and eighth and closer, you know, to get to Pomeranz, Emilio Pagan, and the closer in ninth and Kirby Yates. I mean, this team here, they shouldn't blow any leads. And I think that's the reason why I have them as a sleeper in the National League, is because of that bullpen. And if the rotation lives up to the upside that they have, and they do very well, yes, this team can make a lot of noise. Now let's go to their bench. Their backup catcher is Austin Hedges. Their backup first base is Ty France. Their backup infielder is Greg Garcia, and Ty France also could play multiple positions. Their backup outfielder is Abraham Almonte. Now let's go to their lineup. Starting catcher is Francisco Mejia. Their starting first baseman is Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer needs to have a bounce back year. It's because since he signed that contract, he hasn't lived up to expectations, so hopefully he'll have a bounce back year. As starting second baseman, Jurickson Profar, who they signed from the Oakland Athletics, and hopefully he'll have a bounce back year and do well in order for them to fill up the gap until somebody comes up in the minor league system. At third base is Manny Machado, who he also needs a bounce back year. I mean, he had a decent year, but with the money that he signed, a 10-year, $300 million, you know, he has to put up better numbers, and he's showing that he can be a veteran presence and lead by example. As shortstop, you got the young phenom in Fernando Tatis Jr. I know last year his season got played by injury, which cost him the season. But with this year being healthy, I think you're gonna have spectacular numbers from him, and he's just phenomenal to watch. And playing left field, they acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays and Tommy Pham, which is a great acquisition. Playing center field is Trent Grisham, who they acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers. That's another young phenom, just like Tommy Pham. And playing right field, you have Will Myers, the veteran. Now, it's going to be a split between Will Myers and Josh Naylor. One of them is going to be playing right field, the other one's going to be playing DH. Will Myers, they've been trying to move him all offseason. It didn't work out. So now they're stuck with him. Hopefully, he could split time between first base, DH, and in right field. With this team, they are hired by a new manager after they fired Andy Green last year. His name is Jace Tingler from the Texas Rangers when he used to be a bench coach. To me, honestly, AJ Preller, who could be in his last year if the season does not go well, they could fire him. And Jace Tingler, to me, honestly, was the wrong move. This team here needed a veteran manager, and I thought that manager that they should have hired was Buck Showalter. He would have been the right guy, the right fit, knows how to develop a young team, and he's very good. And Jace Tingler, hopefully he can prove that he was worth the hire, because if he doesn't show anything, AJ Preller could cost AJ Preller his job, and maybe Jace Tingler, maybe in his first year he could end up losing his job. Well, all in all, this team is a sleeper. I think there'll be a wild card berth team if everything falls into place, and we're wishing the San Diego Padres the best. Thank you all. See you next time.